We just celebrated our first anniversary. We got married last October 7th out at my family's home in Aspen, Colorado. So I figured while I was reminiscing, I would do a little review of everything I loved about our wedding, starting with our welcome party that was at T-Lazy-7 Ranch. The goal for our welcome party and kind of just our overall goal for our wedding weekend was that we wanted people to be comfortable and we wanted to make this an experience for everybody. Most people were traveling across the country to get there, and it's a lot to ask and it's an expensive place to stay. So we wanted to make it more of an experience. So we wanted to provide our guests with all these extracurricular activities. Fishing, hiking, biking. We offered a bunch of different activities that they could do and get involved in. And this was kind of the night before kickoff. We really wanted people to see Aspen for what it was. I think Aspen can kind of get a bad rap because people kind of get wrapped up in the fact that it's a celebrity town and it's very expensive, but there's so much more to Aspen than that. If you've actually been and you've stayed there multiple times, you'll come to find that it's just such a peaceful, beautiful place. And if you can see past all the other BS that kind of clouds the way, it's just a really special place. I've been going there my entire life. My family's been going there since the 60s, and it holds a really special place in my heart and my husband's, and we wanted our guests to feel that as well. We had our welcome party at the CHUCKWAGON Grounds, which sits kind of in a hole right below T-Lazy-7 Ranch, right along the creek. And it's this really cool area where they used to bring cattle down from high alpine and actually brand them. So it's got a lot of historical significance to the town. But this is kind of what it looked like. This was our setup for dinner. It was very basic, very laid back, very low key, which was the goal. This is another perspective of kind of what it looked like. Lots of pine trees. There was a sitting area around the fireplace, and then we had an open pit barbecue, and we also had live music. Here it is again. Ignore the car alarm going off in the background. We asked everybody to dress Western chic for the welcome party. So there was lots of cowboy boots and lots of cowboy hats. I do not like themed events at all, but I figured this would get everybody kind of into the mindset of where we were, and everybody enjoyed it. It's really hard to narrow down things I loved about our welcome party, but one of the things that we heard a lot of feedback on was how amazing the food was. The catering company we use is actually based out of Denver, and while there's a lot of local options in Aspen, because we were there kind of towards the end of the fall season, a lot of those places were closed for the season right before ski season starts. So we kind of had to get creative. We used a catering company based out of Denver, and they did an insane job. They open cooked everything for us. It was very home style. There's also a picture of the food, which I'm covering, but I'll show you. But you can kind of see the live band up in the corner, everybody gathered around, and some pictures of the food. This was kind of the spread down here in the right corner, but we had a lot of different options. We had short ribs, we had pulled pork, creamed corn, typical barbecue. Another thing I loved about our welcome party was we had a s'mores bar that we opened when the sun started going down. Here's me and my husband cheersing with our s'mores. We did have some specialty cocktails that night. We did Moscow Mules, and we also did my Uncle Colin's famous margaritas, which were a hit. I think the highlight of the welcome party for most people was that we did a branding. So we had multiple different options of leather goods that you could brand. We had koozies, we had keychains, and then we also had bottle openers that you could put either Aspen, Colorado on or our wedding crest. That way everybody kind of went home with a souvenir and a piece of the wedding to remember. We also sent all the guests home that night with a box of goodies from Paradise Bakery, which is one of my favorite spots in Aspen. It's been there for forever, and they kindly put together a bunch of boxes with mine and my husband's favorite snacks and goodies, and we gave them to all the guests when they left. We also had custom matchbooks out. And we also did disposable cameras, which we got back, and it was super fun seeing all of the funny pictures all of our friends and family took on our disposable cameras. My husband and I also snuck away for like a 15 to 20 minute photo session right at the beginning with our photographers. And the pictures came out absolutely amazing. It did cool off that night, and there was LED heat lamps everywhere, so everybody stayed pretty warm, especially with the open fire. But once the sun went down, everybody was up and dancing with the band, and it was just an awesome way to kick off our wedding weekend. Highly recommend doing a welcome party.